every guy should start in jail and have to work his way out.
Absolutely.
I think
love that idea.
Because it's like you need to earn your place out here.
You do.
In my opinion.
Tells me I'm about to get fired, so I'm going to record this because I have no idea.
After reviewing a video you posted online, upper management has made the decision to terminate your employment effective immediately.
You really cannot expect your boss to keep you on as an employee if you are posting videos like these online, which are going to be very controversial. But guys, today I have the best moments of some women getting fired from their jobs after posting videos online. And you won't want to miss a single clip.
So DoorDash just deactivated me 2 days after I reported my sexual assault. 2 days ago on October 12th, 2025, I was a victim of SA by a DoorDash customer while I was doing my job as a DoorDash driver, and I got it on video. The customer who committed a crime against me. Hey guys, I just lost my job and they won't tell me why. They're supposed to send an email immediately after deactivation providing you the reason why and a link to appeal, and they didn't. So I contacted support and they made me sit on the phone with them for 50 minutes just to tell me that they can't tell me the reason why and I have to just go ahead and appeal without knowing why. So my chances of getting my account back, they have my money in that account. I was working. I was literally working and they deactivated me. This is related. They just punished me for posting about my sexual assault while door dashing. They just fired me, and the police are doing nothing. I lost my job, and that was my only way to make money to pay my bills.
Hey guys, so yep, I really lost my job. Within less than 24 hours after me submitting my appeal, they denied it. And in the email, they said, you can respond to the previous email that you received explaining the reason why you were deactivated. I never got the email. So last night, I contacted one support agent. We sat on the phone for 25 minutes and then she transferred me to the community response team. The person on the community response team told me that was the highest team I could get to. There's literally nobody else she could transfer me to. I could hang up the phone and call back and then get transferred to the community response team again. So I sat on the phone with her for another 30 minutes. And she told me that she couldn't tell me. There's no way that they could tell me what the reason why I just lost my job.
Alright, so not only did she record this video, which is a crime, but she posted it on TikTok for everybody to see. But something that you guys didn't see is that in the original video, the door was completely closed and she kind of nudged it open and then she saw that. Whereas she could have literally just left the food on the porch. I got fired for being a woke professor. No, you got fired for scamming your students out of $120,000. I'm going to let her tell you what she said she was doing, and then I'm going to show you the truth with receipts.
Fired for being a woke professor.
No, you got fired for scamming your students out of $120,000. I'm going to let her tell you what she said she was doing, and then I'm going to show you the truth with receipts.
I designed a kick-ass course to teach my 600 students about basic self-awareness, empathy, and essential communication skills for life, but I mean, basically being a good human.
Now, let me tell you what she actually did. She designed a college course that required you pay to join her patriarchy rebellion community for the low price of $99 a year. Remember, she has 600 students. Now, since she was teaching at a business school, you might think that the patriarchy rebellion community is about succeeding in business. It's about communicating well in business. Nah, according to her, it's a safe place to coordinate our efforts to burn everything to the fucking ground. This is her saying this. Also, according to her, 100% of the membership fees are donated to Planned Parenthood. But here's something even funnier about that. Her web pages say different things that she was doing with the money. On her GoFundMe, it says she was using the funds to buy herself a Rebellion RV. Her website states that 100% of the membership fees are used for awareness, education, and activism for a bully-free future. And of course, we already saw the Facebook post where she says it's going to Planned Parenthood. And because she had been running this scam since 2022, she's raked in more than $120,000 in membership fees. All for a community that, as she said, is to coordinate our efforts to burn everything to the fucking ground. So no, you didn't get fired for being a woke professor. You got fired because you were scamming your students out of $120K.
Now, let me tell you what she actually did. She designed a college course that required you pay to join her patriarchy rebellion community for the low price of $99 a year. Remember, she has 600 students. Now, since she was teaching at a business school, you might think that the patriarchy rebellion community is about succeeding in business. It's about communicating well in business. Now, according to her, it's a safe place to coordinate our efforts to burn everything to the __ ground. This is her saying this. Also, according to her, 100% of the membership fees are donated to Planned Parenthood. But here's something even funnier about that. Her web pages say different things that she was doing with the money. On her GoFundMe, it says she was using the funds to buy herself a Rebellion RV. Her website states that 100% of the membership fees are used for awareness, education, and activism for a bully-free future. And of course, we already saw the Facebook post where she says it's going to Planned Parenthood. And because she had been running the scam since 2022, she's rad in more than $120,000 in membership fees. All for a community that, as she said, is to coordinate our efforts to burn everything to the __ ground. So, no, you didn't get fired for being a woke professor. You got fired because you were scamming your students out of $120K. Alright, so it's no surprise that this professor got fired. But it's honestly surprising that she, made it as long as she did, and she continued to teach without getting fired sooner.
Really have a right to be treated respectfully.
We are unfortunately running out of time, but Peter, I just want to get one final thought from you. Are there words that are used to describe men that offend you?
Not particularly, and if there are some I don't like, I certainly wouldn't want them banned. But it always goes back to that old adage: sticks and stones may break my bones, but there will always be something to offend a feminist.
Peter Lloyd.
No, that's just obnoxious.
Peter Lloyd,
Sorry, you have to give me a chance. That is ridiculous. Hang on.
So, just as this man said, even if there's a word that he doesn't like or someone says something about him, he doesn't want that to be banned, or he doesn't want their speech to be basically suppressed.
It done like, why the heck I just go get some ice cream, right? I get my ice cream, it's another guy in the store, he ordered his ice cream after me. Why the heck he get sprinkles on his? I ain't gonna get sprinkles on mine. And he looked a little like rough around the edges, he looked a little hood. I was looking like, interesting. Fruit Loop.
So, I definitely hope that this video is satire, because if that's an actual ick that you have, and that whole list of things is something that you're looking for in a man, then you're probably never going to find a man.
Well, would you just look at that? Wasn't that just something? And I have been noticing the content of this particular nature growing in increasing popularity on social media lately, because there are apparently some women out there that find domestic violence and physical abuse against men from women to be something to be joked about. They find it funny. Because if not everyone got to read what was stated there, let's review. If a man said this, the internet would come unhinged. But as long as it's a woman joking about abusing a man, it's funny. Because here's another example.
Like this.
Someone is going to have to explain to me why some women out there, and some men, find abuse to be funny. Because in the spirit of equality, a man would be canceled for that.
Wasn't that just something? And I have been noticing the content of this particular nature growing in increasing popularity on social media lately, because there are apparently some women out there that find domestic violence and physical abuse against men from women to be something to be joked about. They find it funny, because if not everyone got to read what was stated there. Let's review. If a man said this, the internet would come unhinged. But as long as it's a woman joking about abusing a man, it's funny. Because here's another example. Someone is going to have to explain to me why some women out there and some men find abuse to be funny. Because in the spirit of equality, a man would be canceled for that. Videos like this definitely are crazy, and it definitely does seem like a double standard, because if it was the other way around, it definitely would be seen as an outrage in the public, and especially to the women making these videos.
What if I just... No. Well, no. No.
Even if this video is satire, and she threw the sandwich away after making it. I mean, there's no excuse for this, and you definitely should have gotten fired.
Gets fired seconds after posting this on social media.
Every guy should start in jail and have to work his way out.
Absolutely.
I think
love that idea.
Because it's like you need to earn your place out here.
You do.
In my opinion.
You do. And it should be treated as if they're on probation for a while. Like one strike, you're back.
Yeah, even when they're out. Yeah.
Recorded the call she got from work during the time.
Something tells me I'm about to get fired, so I'm going to record this because I have no idea. I have no idea what's going on. I'm waiting on them to join. Hello?
Hey, Brittany. Thanks for joining us on this call. I wish this was under better circumstances. After reviewing a video you posted online, upper management has made the decision to terminate your employment effective immediately. While we understand the video may have been comedic in nature, it does not align with our company's values. In fact, several employees came across the video and expressed concerns.
Okay, yeah, that's understandable.
We have no choice but to let you.
So, it definitely does seem like that podcast clip or that conversation, whatever it was, did come back and really bite her, because obviously she got fired the very next day, and fairly so.
Job because of the kombucha video. What? Yeah. I had been working there for 3 months, and that's when I got fired.
Nice.
And
what was the reason?
Well, she brought me in and she was like, you're doing?
You can't be making videos.
Yeah, basically, she was like, you need to decide if you want to be a young professional or if you want to be a meme. And I was like, what the kind of decision is that?
You should have been like, you're just jealous. You're ugly. You're mad as hell. You're ugly.
You're mad.
Yeah, you're mad.
Like, I'm your boss. You're fired.
Yeah.
You're mad. L-L-L-U-L-U-W-B.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Mad. You're an L and I'm a dub.
Me to my 60-year-old boss named Cheryl.
Yeah.
You're just mad because I'm a hot girl.
So, everybody is going to have different goals. This woman decided that, she wasn't going to work at the job anymore. Like, some bosses are going to have preferences and not want you to post certain things on social media.
My job yesterday, they found out I had a TikTok, but they didn't say that was the reason. I just found out afterwards that that was the reason. So now I'm curious as to what it is that I say on my TikTok that got me fired. So I started watching my videos, and I'm an extreme leftist and I worked for conservatives, so. Whoop.
So, I'm not exactly sure what content this woman posted or what it was like before she got fired. But if you are posting something that is, radically on one side, and you're working for somebody and you have customers that are completely on the other side, it's not going to align very well.
I can go 90 miles an hour. You can't. You can't do that. So get the out of the way.
The since deleted TikTok was created by Federal Way police officer Brianna Strauss, who said it was a public service announcement for other drivers.
PSA to everyone out there. I'm speaking for myself, but I'm probably speaking for a large majority of other officers out there. If we're driving on the freeway in our police car, get the out of the way. Get the out of the way.
In the 38-second clip, Strauss tells the viewers, quote, I can go 90 miles per hour. You can't. She also says officers will find a way to pull someone over.
If us officers stay behind you long enough, we can find a reason to pull you over. So you might as well get the out of the way. If you merge and we follow behind you and we merge too, you're probably in trouble. The best way to find that out is get the out of the way.
In a statement to local media, the Federal Way Police Department said in part, quote, we have viewed the social media video posted by Officer Strauss and can assure you that it does not represent the core values and practices of our police department.
The video of the cop definitely goes above just posting on social media and more of just abusing your power and trying to do whatever you can and doing whatever you want just because you're a cop, which we all know that they are not above the law.
Here's what men don't understand about equality. You think equality means splitting the bill. Women live in a society where equality has never existed in the first place. Women still only make 80% of what a man makes for the same full-time job.
There is something deeply poetic about a billionaire Nepo baby using her platform to convince her audience of mostly working-class women that working-class men who make a median wage of $70,000 a year in the United States should foot the entire bill of the relationship. There are 4 reasons why Becca Bloom is wrong, and the first is that Becca doesn't care about equity or equality. The only Becca cares about is entitlement. Anyone with an understanding of the gender wage gap in the United States also knows that there's a racial wage gap in the United States that is even larger. The reason why people like Becca Bloom never bring up the topic of race, let alone intersectionality in this conversation, is because they know that if an Asian woman or a white woman sat down for a date with a black man or went through a relationship with a black man, that would obligate them to pay and foot the bill for the relationship, going down this same line of reasoning. Reason number 2 is that the math simply doesn't math. Let me grant to Becca for a second that for every dollar a man makes in the United States, a woman makes 80 cents. This would not justify a 100-0 split skewed towards the man. This would justify a split that is rated to the inequality that's caused by this gender split. Meaning that under the definition of equity, for every dollar of the bill that the man foots, the woman would foot 80 cents. Now, reason number 3 has to do with statistics. The reason why it's reason number 3 and not number 1, even though it's the most important reason to consider, is because statistical literacy is dying. Most people who have this conversation on the gender wage gap, Becca Bloom included, have no idea what the difference between correlation and causation is. And this is despite the fact that if you take an introductory level statistics class in high school or in college, the first thing you'll learn is this core distinction. So I'll start us off with a really easy example. When Trump entered his first term, the economy boomed. Now, just because those two things happen to happen at the same time doesn't mean that Trump entering office is why the economy boomed. Now, using that same line of reasoning, just because for every dollar a man makes, a woman makes 80 cents, doesn't mean that gender specifically is the reason why that 20-cent schism exists. Which is why when you control for external variables like occupation, years of experience, years of education, you see this gap drastically reduce. In one study, it was from 17 cents to just 1. As a quick aside, this logic of raw, uncontrolled disparities being an example of discrimination is only ever used with respect to the gender wage gap. But when you talk about the fact that home ownership is now higher among young women than young men, or the fact that women are now outpacing men in education from bachelor's degrees to JDs to MDs, all of a sudden, that's no longer discrimination. That's just individual people. I mentioned it in a previous video and I'll mention it again. The cognitive dissonance is palpable. And even then, gender is not necessarily the reason why this 1 cent difference exists. It could be for a myriad of other factors that weren't controlled. Now, a really common counter argument to this is, why do you think women's professions are typically paid less? To which I say, I agree. It's an issue that has to do with patriarchy. But inequality in the sense of a social choice model is significantly different from inequality in the sense of systemic discrimination. At the end of the day, people are responsible for their own decisions, which is why if you go into a profession like teaching, which pays less, you're doing so knowing that it pays you less. In the same vein that a man going into a profession like construction knows that this is a more dangerous job and therefore there's a higher risk to their life in doing so. Which is why, despite the fact that men go into more dangerous professions more often, you don't hear myself or other men scream from the rooftops that this is some magical reason for us to be compensated more in relationships. Which brings me to point number 4. Becca's entire argument relies on this false premise that individual people in relationships are responsible for remediating issues that exist at systemic and societal levels. A relationship is not a personal affirmative action plan. It's a partnership, and individual people's struggles are not always defined by generalities that exist in society. And frankly, just putting these 4 arguments aside for a second, I want you to take Becca Bloom's worldview to its endpoint. A world where only the men who are capable of sustaining a family on a single income is not a world that can exist any longer, right? The dollar doesn't go as far as it used to 50 years ago, 20 years ago. It's simply not possible anymore. The reason why people like Becca Bloom, Share7, The Wizard List, the reason why they push this provider mentality, masculine energy, red pill content, that's what it is, red pill content, onto young women, is because they know that their idea is a systemic impossibility. They fundamentally profit off of having a base of women who are dissatisfied with the relationships that they have, which is why they constantly shift the goalposts of what it means for a man to be the bare minimum. And it's even more sinister when it comes to people like Becca Bloom, who are literal oligarchs, because they directly benefit from the idea of having fragmented family units who are unable to have productive lives for themselves and retain capital for their own prosperity.
This man made some great points, including the fact that this woman only really makes videos for other women in order to get, you know, more money and views, because obviously those other women are going to agree with it and not really look at the facts like this man did. But I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Like and subscribe and comment what you think, and I'll see you in the next.